Merry Christmas, everyone. Oh my God, it didn't happen how we thought it might happen. So I've been really thinking about this a lot, and I had two videos sent to me. Well, one came up on my YouTube feed, and the other one somebody sent to me about timeline jumps and whether or not we've already gone through a lot of timeline jumps just from just assertions of good players into timelines. Like there was a video I'll post in the description box explaining this and how we've had timeline jumps in our reality before. How important it is that we do stay in the bliss state. Like, this is not just for Christmas Day, and I know that's a lot to ask of everybody with what's going on in our world, but I do believe consciousness and all the mythology that we've been studying is all symbolizing this kind of perception of how by humanity staying in a higher consciousness that we can manifest what we desire in this world. Okay, so enough of us have to pull these energies up. And this YouTube video that came across on my YouTube channel, just like recommendations, was a yogi. I don't even know his name. He just came up, and I just thought it was fascinating because he just talks like in about like 15 minutes, nice little short little video, but he's explaining the Kali Yuga and the tree of life collapsing and the new tree of life, being formed, and how all mythology, all religions are all really mirroring this concept of us learning how to pull ourselves out of these lower emotional states and pulling consciousness into a higher state. So the mythology he's saying is like, just repetitive, which we've all noticed, like from finding out, what's happening in this timeline is in, this Julius Caesar timeline and the Lincoln timeline. So we start to see there's a repetitive pattern, but I'm starting to wonder is like, sometimes are we failing and then sometimes are we succeeding? And you can kind of feel these energies and frequencies. And all I know is there's more and more people starting to believe that we are on a higher timeline and that we can resonate at that timeline and create what we want. So if that's the case, if we've stopped this kind of doomsday thing, and now our job is to just bring the consciousness up to a higher level, and it will be like a two-tier kind of society, and we now have to transform our way of living, more off the land, more like helping local people, trying to learn alternative health methods. So this is where all the kind of light worker beings are starting to kind of, create like group meditation. We can start to see this is all happening, but we have to unite. This is my little doggy. We have to unite as a community, not be in separate communities. Oh, well, this is one community that's doing this. We have to embrace all the people that don't want to follow this timeline that the elite are pushing on us, and all of these other communities have to unite, and we have to have open hearts and open minds to see everybody's kind of on the same page. We just don't want this kind of lockdown, AI reality being pushed on us. So I came down to the Sugar Shack to film this today. It's Christmas Day. And I also have some little clips of the winter solstice when I did the fire. And that was really special because we had no wind that night. And I got a little bit of a clip with the owl came, and actually I hadn't heard him for weeks, and he happened to come on the winter solstice and do a few calls. They were faint, but he was here. He's probably scared of the fire a little bit. I also heard a coyote that night, but that I didn't get on tape. So I wanted to share that all with you guys, and I wanted to share, my daughter gave me this. It's like this kind of, I love it. It's like a druid kind of cape, and I got some new, hang on, I came down here with, it's all really wet today. We're warm here today in Canada, which is really weird in part I'm at. But I got these moccasins, I ordered them. They're knee high, I don't know if you can see them. And they're awesome. And I'm going to use this for grounding when I come for my walks and try to avoid, any ticks. So I wanted to share all this with you guys. And I'm so grateful for all your comments. And I think we're starting to see that we're really in charge. We're in charge, guys. It's really to do with our belief system and how much we believe we are the creators, okay? And I'm not saying that in an egotistical way, like I am a creator, I'm equal to God. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we're all part of God, and we have to take the responsibility to be on God's frequency, the good frequency, not on this kind of lower frequency that we've always been kind of pulled into, right? It's like a sine wave. We're up and down, but we just have to keep going up, okay, and trying to pull more people out of this kind of doom and gloom state. And it's I started to have a conversation with somebody about the whole vaccine thing, and I came across pretty strong. I said, look, you're still, even if you get vaccinated, you're still going to be contagious. So are you going to be willing to stay home for all the non-vaxxers? So it's trying to show that there's a bit of a hypocrisy about that, do it for the greater good. And it's not for the greater good. It's for, you must have the same emotion about death as I do. This is what's going on, okay? And I've kind of, with all my family members passing, as a lot of you might know, I think, I've just kind of worked through that, and I don't really have a fear of death, and I don't focus on the destination. We're all born to die, right? So I don't have that destination focus. I have the journey focus and how you create the journey, okay? So when people start saying to you, oh, you're not being kind because you aren't going to take a vaccine, you can say, look, I'm just not at that frequency. I'm good, with trusting nature. And I know quite a few people have had COVID. They get fine. They're fine. They're just like get a flu, and then it's like a flu thing. You can say, oh, it's not the flu, it's more contagious. Doesn't matter. Most people are fine. Okay, so we have to start to bring this dialogue into talking with people that are trying to make us feel guilty for taking our stance on it, and not doing it in a mean way, like calling them names and stuff. Just like basically saying, I'm just not at that level of fear as you, and not say it in a degrading way, but just say, I trust in nature, and I trust that all will be well. And I think when man thinks that he's in charge of it all, I think that's when it all goes, down the tubes. We have to just believe in the nature world and what is to be done here. But I do think that we're in type of some reality that can create as we go, and depending on our frequencies and what we're putting out. So if you want to be the help, you want to be the light in this war, okay, you have to bring your frequency up. You cannot be on the good side if you're down, okay? And that's a big responsibility to pull yourself into these higher frequencies. But soon as you let go of your ego, of wanting to be right, or as soon as you let go of your ego, meaning that you want to be in charge, because you're not in charge. None of us are in charge. All you can do, the only thing you're in charge of is how you react to things. Okay, so this is the message that this yogi is putting out as well, and I'm really excited to hear somebody that has religious kind of connotations and learning some of the ancient scripts and saying that this is what this is all about. This is the Christ consciousness. It's fearless, okay? It's love, it's bliss, and we have to keep raising this frequency. And I don't care how much they lock us down and how much injustice is going on. You cannot pull yourself into this kind of war mentality. You have to kind of step away from it and just say, sorry, I'm going to live in my little world and bring it as blissful as I can. And that's all we can ask of any soul, okay? It's just we're here to help each soul become in a blissful state. And this is really the goal of helping people, okay? So I'm not preaching really. I kind of am, but I don't want to be. I just want to show that a lot of this stuff is starting to come mainstream. and I'll share the links with you, and show that this is not just my message. This is a worldwide message. I'm sure a lot of you know that, but it's like interesting to start to see it coming full circle. And the timeline jumping, the Mandela effects, and how are we changing, Mandela effects as we go, and depending on our consciousness. And this was in the 100 show. They were saying, well, you don't deserve to all move forward and ascend because you're too much in war, and then we're going to destroy the planet, whatever. And maybe we've pulled through. Maybe they're not going to destroy it now because enough of us are in a higher frequency. Let's hope, right? But we're here. We're here for the journey, and the participation in bringing this to a higher level. Okay, and there's a lot of sad, depressed, scared people out there. Okay, and we have to kind of keep pushing through that barrier, the veil, right? It's the veil. Maybe that's the veil. We don't really take it away. It's the veil that divides us. Okay, and we have to kind of help these people through. And through that, they become the creators, the co-creators with us, with the higher source, right? So it's all wonderful. And I hope everybody's having a blissful Christmas. And if you're not, listen to Theta binary beats, spoil yourself, treat yourself how you deserve to be treated, or how you wish to be treated. It's all inner work. Okay, so I bless you. I don't bless you. I bliss you. I bliss you. This is my new saying. One of my subscribers had mentioned it. I bliss you, not bless you. So bliss to you all, and Merry Christmas. And I hope you're all having a wonderful time. Love ya. Bye. So this is what the Sugar Shack looks like in the winter. I think you've seen almost all the seasons now, and it's hard to walk and keep it steady, but anyhow, I just wanted to show you when the wind is still and the snow gets to settle on the trees, and you get to see the magical snow on the roof. Hasn't melted off yet. It's gonna get a little warmer. There's the two doggies. There's good old Scoot. Well, it's the winter solstice. Now, I've got cloudy sky. I got a little bit of blue sky, so I might be able to get to see the conjunction. But I saw it 2 days ago, and I could see it like a line attaching it. And I was so shocked because it had been cloudy here for days. And then I saw it by the Cheshire moon, and it was just on the right side of the moon. And I couldn't believe it. I got a picture of it, but it doesn't do it justice. So I'm just out here walking the doggies on the winter solstice, and I'm hoping I can do a bonfire tonight. I think it's going to be quiet enough with no wind, so I think I'm going to be able to do it, and I'm pretty excited because I've never done a winter solstice bonfire before. And it's just, I can't believe that my first one is on this conjunction. And so it's going to be so special. And I will videotape it for you guys later if it becomes a success. I love this part of the woods. I cleared it all up, and you can you see the sticks piled in the back there? That's my kind of like big nest, my round circle. And the sun is just shining on these guys a little bit, but it's a beautiful day. It could be sunnier, but I'm not complaining. It's like, wow. And I just love the moss. You see, this is what everything that has moss on it, I'm just attracted to it. I don't know what it is. I guess it's because of the tree of life being, the sigillaria tree being made out of moss. I'm assuming that's why I have such a huge attraction to it. Unless it was some past life. But who knows? I guess we'll all find out one day when we get our memories back. That's the key, right? Is to remember all your experiences on every single lifetime that you've had here. Can you imagine what that would feel like? The amount of emotion that would come through with that? And I'm wondering if it just happens slowly when you remember, or is it going to be one big blast? And then you're kind of like, just like comatose from it, like, oh my God. So here's my little entrance, right, going into my round circle. Of course, there's moss. And then I have to duck even though I'm short. And there's my chair. And I've shown you guys this before, but this is the winter view. Well, the beginning of winter. It's the first day of winter today, actually. So that's it. And I want to show you can see the sugar shack over there. And I want to show you the big pile that I've collected. There's the old Scoot. He's still kicking. He collapsed the other day. And he, you know, his tongue hangs out. It looks like he's passed. And then he just pops back to life again. And oh my goodness, he's like the dog with a million lives. I don't know how many times he's done it over the years, and I'm just kind of like, okay, is this it? And then he goes, nope, I'm still hanging out. I really wanted him to make it through to the winter solstice, and he has. So giving him spirulina and also some stuff for his joints. So he's still hanging out and still keen to come out walking, you know. And he couldn't walk like beginning of summer, he couldn't walk. So I'm pretty excited about that he's here with me. And we're going to come out here later tonight when it's dark. There's my pile. So what I did, you can see the little bamboo, these little, I don't know, I guess somebody said that they were horsetail kind of thing. They stay green all winter, which is kind of, you see them in the distance there. It's like just a green patch. And then I have one little evergreen. Look at him, he's just so perfect. He's there here all between all the big giant maples. Like the maples are huge. They're like, I don't know, 150 feet tall. They're huge. Can't imagine how old they are. And there's the pile. So I gathered, I had 5 stumps that were in the sugar shack when I was cleaning them out. And then we put moss rocks on each one. It's kind of like a symbol to the tree of life. And I'll take them off to sit on them, but they're just there as like kind of symbolic. And here's these little, you know, horsetail bamboo kind of things. They're like straws, but they're always green all winter. It's amazing. And then here's the sugar shack in the winter. See, we boarded all up the top. So, but this was cool. This is the original way it was made. The top was open, right? And then I put screen in so we could sleep in there without getting mosquitoes. And then that's how they originally closed the doors. It's from the inside on hinges on a wheel on a pulley system, and it's on a rope. And you just kind of slack the rope, and then the doors kind of open downward from the top. So, and this is where, you know, if you're doing sugar, the smoke would come out there. You know, it's just a relief of all the smoke that's in the fire. But yeah, it's closed up now, so there's no wind blowing through there. The sides are still got cracks in them, but it's still, you know, I come down here on nice days now, and here's my little horse sculpture, and I wanted to show you guys the creek. Okay, so this is what. I'll just take you on a tour here. Sorry for the camera moving around so much, but I don't have one of those professional things that holds it still. There's a little creek back here. It was, you know, dug out probably, I don't know, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Here's the back of the sugar shack. See how the road comes up? And this is where they would pull the horses up. And then the little door there's a little hatch door, and that would be where the syrup would go through. But I hung a door here that I had. So I didn't want to spend any money. I had this old door, and I made a screen, and then that's like kind of like my window. And I slide it to open it in the summer. And then you can see the hatch roof you know. So it's really cool here. Like it's like, you know, you're halfway up the building. And here is the little sugar shack. Oh, I didn't want to tell you about these. See this big tree here? It's not far from the sugar shack, right? I was in the sugar shack with my mate, and we were sitting in there at night, and I was standing up, and all of a sudden I hear this creaking of this tree, and I'm like, I just ran to the door. He's sitting on the couch, and he's like, you just left me here. And I'm like, it was just instinct. It sounded like it was going to come and land on the sugar shack. And he was like, you just left me here. And I was like, well, I don't know. My body just ran to the door. I didn't want to be in the sugar shack when I heard this tree coming down. And yeah, it was far enough away, but it was pretty funny. And I'm glad I wasn't upstairs sleeping when it happened, because, you know, it would have been absolutely terrifying thinking this tree was coming on top of you and crushing you while you're in bed. It would not have been a good thing. So they took out all these massive rocks out of this creek because they wanted to make this kind of man-made waterway to run off the land around here. And of course, they wanted to clean it out, even though it's pretty clean, my creek, but it had lots of wood in it. And they wanted to, they're going to charge me $2,000 to clean it out, but they're not going to clean it out. Like, they're charging me for it, but they're not going to do it, which I'm okay about, because I didn't want to get them in here again with big bulldozers and just destroy everything, because that's what they would have done. They wouldn't have done it by hand. So my daughter and I cleaned out pretty much all the you know, the branches. It was just full, and we cleaned it all out this summer. And see, it's starting to freeze, and this is what I was kind of hoping. There's a few big ones we need to chainsaw, but I'm hoping I can skate down here just for fun, you know, like just go down and come down to the sugar shack, put some skates on, and zip it up and down the little creek here. So it looks like it's gonna freeze well, because there's no snow, right? And when it freezes before the snow, you get a good skating rink. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I have bought cross-country skis, but I'm so my reflex is so bad when I get down the hill on cross-country skis. I always lean backwards, because that's what you do when you ride a horse. So instead of leaning forward, so every time I'm in stress, I lean back and I fall down. So it's like totally ridiculous. It's like I'm a one-trick pony. But that's the way it is. Oh, Teddy, don't go down there. You're going to fall in the ice. Come on. Over here. Come on. Come on. No, look what you're doing. Come on. Come on. You got to get out of there. Okay, he's free. Okay, so now we're going to go inside now. And see the moss? Oh, it's just gorgeous. It's even in the winter, right? And when I was a kid, you know, I make fairy houses when I was a kid. And I used to always imagine that I was a giant looking into a little world. And then I would make the homes like in miniature, thinking, you know, that was the size of their world. And this is what I did as a kid. I was like, you know, we didn't have computers back then. I'm old. So it's like, but it was fun, you know. And so this whole thing about getting this sugar shack cleaned up, and so I can come and actually hang out here, I feel like I'm already in the magical elven land. And it's so, I don't know, it just feels right, you know. It feels right to be out here in the woods and just thinking about the elementals and the fairy people and all the mythos relating to that. And, you know, is that really the Mobius strip jump to the Alice universe quantum physics theory? So I'm assuming that's what it's all about, because it's just like Alice in Wonderland and her Cheshire cat, right? And you're fade in and out if you're the cat. And you're here, but you're not here. So this is really, I think, what it's all about. You create your own freedom by believing in the magic of the other realm, the fairy realm. The fire's rocking and rolling. And we got, ooh, that's the sparks going up too. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Happy Saturnalia.
Oh, he called. The owl's here. Oh, did you hear him? Did it again. Oh my god, it's so cool. He came for the solstice.